About 1500 years ago, in the year 541 AD, something really strange occurred when a never before seen spectacle appeared in the skies over Europe. The sky was covered with thick black clouds of a weird shape, so dense that they totally obscured the sun. It was formerly thought that these clouds would dissipate following rain. But how did people who believed and comprehend in this way know that these clouds would do something that would be cherished forever? The Byzantine or Eastern Roman Empire were in charge of this region during the time. Constantinople, which is today known as Istanbul, served as its capital. Additionally, Istanbul witnessed this unusual scene at the same moment. A few hours, days, and weeks passed, yet the weird cloud did not rain or disappear from the sky.
Day by day, the situation worsened, and by the time it reached this point, Constantinople had been without sunlight for several weeks. Who knew, though, that this was just the beginning of what was to come? Nobody had any illusions over this.
A terrible catastrophe had struck Constantinople in the year 541 AD. There were over 1 million people living there at the time, and over the preceding few weeks, the shadow of the cloud had caused great unease amongst everyone. But when the people began passing away one by one, the situation worsened. Yes, people used to fall while walking, while standing still, and after a while, their breathing would cease. As soon as people saw this situation, they began to panic, and chaos quickly spread among them because they believed that perhaps the end of the world had finally arrived. The dead on the ground, the weird fog in the air, and the ominous clouds in the sky were not fitting the description of an end. In the summer, the bitter cold set in, and the snowfall intensified to such an extent that no one's crops, animals, or birds escaped unharmed. Justinian, the Byzantine Empire at the time, commanded the people to remain calm, and he added that those who perform nice and good deeds won't experience any negative consequences in their life.
The emperor's statement increased people's anxiety, considering that this illness was not focusing on a good or terrible person. Every day, tens of thousands of individuals were buried in large graves at the same time as they died. In addition, supplies of food and beverages were now running low due to turn-in events. The Byzantine Empire's army was regarded as having a powerful army. It wasn't helpful in this situation though. The entire region was gripped by this odd disease, and they were fighting a battle against an enemy that no one could see. This strange illness spread over the world, including Spain, France, Italy, Greece, Turkey, Morocco, Syria, Iran, and other countries, wherever the ominous clouds in the sky traveled. This illness had gripped this region of the continent as a whole. Nobody could figure out what was really causing this unusual cosmic illness. The people there had no choice but to believe that the world was about to end, and their view was reinforced when the Byzantine emperor himself suffered to such illness.
This illness, now known as the Plague of Justinian, was the first epidemic in the history to be documented. The system of this entire continent was upset by the unusual cosmic illness, which continued for 2 years. There were even certain regions where the sun did not rise for 2 years. However, nobody could possibly be aware of the true implications of this mystery. There were indications that something out of the ordinary must have occurred here, including the terrifying shadow caused by the dark clouds, the snowfall during the summer, and the deaths of crops, animals, birds, and humans. In 2013, after nearly 1500 years, researchers were able to identify the true source of this dreadful cosmic disease. In Greenland, 5,000 kilometers from Istanbul, is where the cure for this sickness that claims the life of millions of people. The weather in Greenland is always extremely severe. Only specialized equipment makes it feasible to live there normally.
When several countries experienced temperatures of above 50 degrees Celsius in June and July, Greenland experienced minus 18 degrees at the same time. Greenland doesn't even experience summer. It is therefore impossible to melt the snow here. The particles in the atmosphere are also carried to the ground by the snow that is falling from the sky. According to experts, the ice still has the past million years worth of climate records. The ice that builds in Greenland each year falls there in layers on top of one another. 1 year's layer is 5 centimeters thick, which means that if we want to know the climate data from 1500 years ago, we must obtain ice samples below roughly 75 meters and test them in a lab. Here the professionals began their drilling work. The snow that had fallen over the previous 2000 years was also removed.
The length of the excavated ice core, including the ice that fell from the Greenland sky during the Justinian awful illness, exceeded 100 meters. Surprisingly, a sulfur spike was discovered in the snow that fell between 500 and 600 AD. When the electrical conductivity test was performed, this surge indicated that there was a problem with the atmosphere. Sulfur dioxide is a dangerous gas that is bad for people, animals, birds, and plants. The next objective was to determine the origin of sulfur and its presence in the atmosphere throughout the 6th century. According to experts, a volcano is the only thing that could have produced the enormous amount of sulfur particles in the sky. Yes, there are various locations deep beneath the earth where molten rocks are bubbling into magma.
The pressure of Earth's outer layers keeps the magma from escaping despite the fact that it is always hunting for a way out. The magma and the Earth continue to fight each other until the magma is reached by seawater. When seawater touches magma, it heats up, changes to gas, and the combined pressure of the gas and magma increases pressure on the Earth. Then lava emerges from any weak place created by the magma. Millions of people worldwide currently live in the shadow of active volcanoes. Exactly when this volcano will erupt is unknown to geologists. We are only aware of the danger posted to us by volcanoes located thousands of kilometers away from the human population. It might harm someone. Volcanologists, climatologists, scholars, and geologists from all around the world are still studying past volcanic eruptions and the devastation they did in order to save people from future disasters.
That's it for today.
Bye for now.